There are some things in life that I just won't cheap out on. Here are my top 6 things that I will never ever buy bottom of the barrel or the absolute cheapest versions of. Number 1 is car tyres. I spent my very early 20s and late teens buying part worn tyres of all things and putting those on my banger of a car, and now that I have children and a family, I would absolutely never spend even money on the budget tyres. The difference between a £60 tyre and a £150 tyre in terms of braking distance, ability to keep grip in the wet and stuff is, for my mind, money I am absolutely willing to spend money on. If things are like your braking or your tyres fail you, it may only happen once and you will potentially live to regret it. So absolutely avoid part worn tyres regardless, even if you can't afford them. The budget tyres are just not worth it for me. And I found that actually they tend to need replacing an awful lot quicker than I only really buy Michelin, Pirelli or Bridgestone these days. And there's some good kind of mid-range brands as well, like Hankook, that are also pretty good, but I would stay away from any brands that you've absolutely never heard of. Second one is a bed mattress and the pillow. We currently have I don't know even what brand it is, but it's a decent brand, very, very comfortable, but is potentially very expensive for some people. I think it was around £1,200 for the mattress itself, and that was a double, and the pillows were £100 each. And the pillows, I've never slept better since getting these new pillows. And just think how much of your life you spend in bed, around about a third if you're lucky enough to get 8 hours every night. And that is a long time to spend on something that is potentially doing damage to your back and also affecting your sleep, which can have longer term effects as well. I stay away from kind of the old sprung mattresses. You can buy a cheap mattress for £100, but you're going to feel that and it's going to be rough. And also, if you've got the luxury of a spare room, do not subject your guests to a really bad bed either. Otherwise you might find people don't want to stay anymore. Third thing on my list is shoes or trainers. Now, I don't buy real big branded trainers, so I'm not walking around in Christian Louboutin trainers or anything, but I tend to buy some just rugged trainers or shoes, smart looking shoes from M&S. They're not massively expensive, but they're certainly not bottom of the barrel, and they last a good 2 to 3 years. And then trainer wise, I've got a pair of Nike running trainers that I bought for around £120 13 years ago, maybe, potentially even longer than that. And I've still got them now. They're still not falling apart. I don't run in them as much anymore, but they're a great walking trainer as well. And then I bought some kind of barefoot trainers or shoes not long ago, Vivo Barefoots. In fact, that was about 18 months ago now, and they're in immaculate condition. They have been completely drenched in water. They've been through a hike in the Peak District. They've been washed, they can be scrunched up, they're brilliant, and they were around £140, £150. Highly recommend them. They're really good for walking as well. Fourth one is kitchen knives. Now, if you enjoy cooking in any way, shape or form, then the difference between a £5 kind of chopping knife and a £20 to £30 chopping knife is night and day. It's considerably sharper, the metal is considerably stronger, and it's actually I enjoy cooking, but chopping with a decent knife, I would never go back now to, you can get the cheap sets where you get 5 knives in a block for 10-15 quid. They're blunt very quickly, they're not particularly sharp to begin with, and so a decent knife block to sharpen your knife, and a knife, it doesn't have to be super expensive. You can spend hundreds on these things for like Japanese steel or what have you. Just a £25-30 knife will make the world of difference. Number 5, and there's a theme here, things that separate me from the floor. Sofa. I would personally never buy, and I have done in the past, I would never buy now, a cheap sofa you can get from somewhere like Argos, for instance. You can get like a 3-piece suite for a few hundred quid, or a faux leather 2-piece or 2-seater sofa, and they're just not an enjoyable time at all. I tend to go to the big sofa retailers now, or the bespoke ones online, where you can have either made to measure or still mass produced, but they are generally more comfortable to sit on for longer periods of time. And absolutely will never buy a sofa without sitting on it first, in the same way that my mattress, I would also want to lay on it first. The sofa I tried out in the showroom for a good 20 minutes, beforehand, before purchasing, because it's an expensive purchase and you have to wait about 9 to 12 weeks to get these bloody things delivered. I would absolutely not cheap out on a sofa again. And finally, and this is driven by my wife really, is insurances, in particular car insurance. Now if you go on Compare the Market, Go Compare, Confused.com and do your car insurance renewal, you will get a lot of responses. Now at the very top of those tend to be very budget versions, and my wife actually had a friend, I think, that tried to claim versus one of them. It was an absolute nightmare, and so now I stick to the big well-known brands. I will never cheap out on insurance because you just don't know how much you're going to need that. Whether you crash your car, someone steals your car or whatever, you want to make sure you're covered and they're not going to find any sort of loophole to get out of doing that. And so yeah, and for my home insurance I've always been like that anyway, but for my car insurance I used to just do cheap, and that's because I always bought cheap cars, and I started to buy a more reasonable car last year and decided that I would get sufficient insurance, or a insurance company with a decent enough reputation to complement the vehicle. Let me know the things that you will not cheap out on in the comments below. If I've missed anything that's really smart, I probably have missed something, but they are the top 6 for me. I will do another video on things I absolutely will not waste money on later on this week. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow the account to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and thank you for watching.